Kyiv and numerous other regions across Ukraine experienced a massive and coordinated overnight Russian drone and missile assault, resulting in at least 4 fatalities, including a 12-year-old girl, and leaving dozens more wounded. Ukrainian authorities reported an unprecedented barrage with 494 drones and 40 missiles fired, though air defenses successfully intercepted the majority of these incoming projectiles. The widespread attacks specifically targeted critical infrastructure, residential buildings, and public services in major cities such as Kyiv, Zaporizhzhia, Khmelnytskyi, Sumy, Mykolaiv, Chernihiv, and Odessa. In Zaporizhzhia, emergency services conducted harrowing rescues from burning buildings, with children notably among the injured, highlighting the devastating impact on civilian populations. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy swiftly condemned the strike as an act of deliberate terror, emphasizing the sheer scale, coordinated nature, and indiscriminate intent behind the Russian attack. This extensive aerial assault underscores Russia's continued strategy of targeting Ukrainian urban centers and essential services, aiming to inflict widespread damage, disrupt daily life, and erode civilian morale. The effectiveness of Ukraine's air defenses, while significant in intercepting many projectiles, could not prevent all casualties and destructions, demonstrating the persistent and evolving threat posed by Russia's aerial capabilities. The international community has largely echoed Zelenskyy's condemnation, viewing these attacks as flagrant violations of international humanitarian law and a continuation of Russia's aggressive military campaign against Ukraine's sovereignty and its people. In a parallel development on the ground, Russian forces have officially claimed full control of Shandrigolovo village in the Donetsk region, signifying a continued intensification of their offensive operations in eastern Ukraine. According to a statement from the Russian Ministry of Defense, troops from the Zapad group executed a successful advance, effectively pushing Ukrainian forces from their fortified positions, capturing a number of soldiers and seizing essential military equipment. Moscow reports also detailed the eliminations of hundreds of Ukrainian troops, achieved through coordinated operations involving multiple Russian military groups. This announcement of territorial gain and significant Ukrainian losses coincide with one of Russia's largest aerial attacks on Ukraine, which include extensive drone strikes and missile barrage targeting various locations across the country. The synchronized nature of these ground and air operations suggests a concerted effort by Russia to achieve decisive military objectives in the Eastern Theater, leveraging both direct ground assault and long-range precision strikes to overwhelm Ukrainian defenses. The capture of Shandrigolovo, while seemingly a localized gain, contributes to Russia's broader strategic goal of consolidating control over the Donetsk region, a key objective of its military campaign. These ground advancements, coupled with a relentless aerial bombardment, indicate a renewed impetus in Russia's military strategy, aiming to exert maximum pressure on Ukrainian forces and gain significant tactical advantage ahead of potential future negotiations or prolonged conflict. The ongoing struggle for control in the Donetsk region remains a critical flashpoint, emblematic of the broader widening conflict in eastern Ukraine, where both sides continue to incur heavy loss in their fight for territorial dominance. The reported capture of Shandrigolovo village forms a crucial part of a wider intensified offensive by Russian forces across eastern Ukraine, reflecting Moscow's renewed commitment to securing its strategic objective in the Donetsk region. The Russian Ministry of Defense detailed account of the Zapad group's operation emphasized a deliberate and well-coordinated military push, indicating careful planning and resource allocation. The successful dislodging of Ukrainian forces from fortified positions, along with the capture of personnel and equipment, suggests a tactical victory that could potentially open new avenues for further Russian advancement. The claim of eliminating hundreds of Ukrainian troops through multi-group coordinated operations, if accurate, would represent a significant blow to Ukraine's defensive capabilities in the east and highlights the intensity of the fighting. This ground offensive's timing, occurring concurrently with one of Russia's most extensive air attacks on Ukraine, including widespread drone and missile strikes, points to a synchronized military strategy. This approach aims to create a multi-front pressure on Ukrainian forces, using aerial bombardments to soften defenses and disrupt logistics, while ground troops advance. Such coordinated tactics are designed to maximize military gains and minimize Russian casualties by overwhelming the adversary through sheer force and complexity of attack. The focus on the Donetsk region remains central to Russia's broader war aims. Securing this territory would provide a significant political and strategic victory, solidifying its claim over the Donbass. The ongoing battle for these eastern territories is characterized by brutal trench warfare, artillery duels, and drone skirmishes, leading to a high rate of attrition for both sides. The gains made by Russia, even if incremental, contribute to a narrative of forward momentum and sustained pressure on Ukraine, making the prospect of a decisive Ukrainian counteroffensive in the short term increasingly challenging. The international community watch closely, understanding that each territorial shift in the east has profound implications for the overall trajectory of the conflict in future peace negotiations. The recent extensive Russian attack across Ukraine, encompassing both large-scale drone and missile assaults and ground offensive in the Donetsk region, unequivocally demonstrate Moscow's unwavering resolve to pursue its military objective, despite international condemnation and sanctions. The indiscriminate nature of the aerial bombardment, which caused civilian casualties and severe damage to critical infrastructure, align with a strategy of inflicting significant pressure on Ukrainian society and government. These tactics aim to degrade Ukraine's ability to resist, disrupt its economy, and create a sense of vulnerability among its populace. Conversely, the ground gains, such as the capture of Shandrigolovo, signify Russia's persistent efforts to consolidate territorial control and establish more defensible positions in eastern Ukraine. The synchronized execution of air and ground operation indicates a sophisticated military strategy designed to achieve maximum impact, leveraging different capabilities to create synergistic effects. The humanitarian consequences of these attacks are profound, as evidenced by the fatalities and injuries, including those of a child, and the widespread destruction of residential area and public services. Such events consistently fuel global outcry and reinforce calls for increased humanitarian aid and protections for civilians caught in the conflict. For Ukraine, this renewed attack underscored the critical need for continued international military assistance, particularly advanced air defense systems and long-range artillery, to counter Russia's evolving threat. The resilience of Ukraine's air defense in intercepting a significant number of projectiles, despite the sheer volume of incoming threats, highlights the ongoing technological arms race and the effectiveness of modern defense systems when properly deployed. However, the persistent ability of Russia to launch such large-scale attacks also signals its considerable remaining military capacity and its willingness to endure international isolation to achieve its strategic aims. The escalation of both aerial bombardment and ground offensive further complicate any prospect for diplomatic resolution in the near future, indicating that both sides are preparing for a prolonged conflict where military gains and losses will continue to shape the political landscape. If you have made it this far, congratulations, you have unlocked the truth. I want to ask you a quick question. After seeing the devastating effect of a massive multi-pronged air assault involving hundreds of drones and missiles, do you think traditional air defense systems can keep up with this new era of warfare? Or does Ukraine's interception rate signal a shift in battlefield dynamics? Join the debate. We want to hear your insightful opinion on where this is all heading in our community. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Like the video, and most importantly, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.